Hello, everybody. We are back again at the book of Ruth. Ruth chapter 1, verses 6 to 17. And, um, and, and the title here is When God Seems Like He's Against You. And from Naomi's perspective, is we try to imagine everything is falling apart around her, one thing after another. It's almost as if nothing can go right for Naomi. Nothing is going right for her. So now we have this situation um, that's and that's really the background behind what's going on. Well, once again, this dominant theme of God's providence. God is working through the events of our lives, both good and bad, so that everything works out for His good plan. Now, providence. Um, Providence is typically something we don't see. So, and even now, God is the time of tragedy is actually the perfect time is where we're gonna see because they're gonna come upon the barley harvest. If it's 3 months, if it's even 3 months earlier, three months later, that they're gonna have no food. So I want you to keep in mind God is continually working behind the scenes. There's this word called it's the Hebrew word hesed. It means God's loving kindness, love or His kindness. But hesed is more than just love and kindness. It's His covenantal love. And this word's gonna pop up in our passage. So let's read through. I'm reading to with the English Standard Version. Starting at verse 6. Then she arose with her daughters in law to return from a country of Moab. For she had heard in the fields of Moab that the Lord had visited his people and given them food. So she's working in the field and she hears, hey, God is blessing Bethlehem. So she has nothing. Hey, do I stay here or do I leave? So she set out to the place where she was with her two daughters-in-law, and they went out on the way to the road to Judah. But Naomi said to her two daughters-in-law, "Go return each of you to your mother's house." So what's happening here? So they start on this journey, and then she's like, "Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta leave." Um, because and because I have done nothing for you. And she continues on. Um, May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant that you may find rest, each of you in the house of your husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voices and wept. So it's a very mournful scene here. Weeping, this crying because now that she's telling them that they have to leave. And the picture here is that Naomi is crying and her two daughter-in-laws are crying. Um, it's a very sorrowful scene. Then she said to her, "No, we will return with you." So they both say this. But Naomi said, "Turn back, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Have I yet sons in my womb that can become your husbands?" So what's talking about here is this idea of levirate marriage. So levirate marriage is this. Um, that if your husband dies, that the other son can therefore marry that the wife of the husband or can marry the wife of the husband that died. What was a very common prior practice in this time. So levirate marriage is really what they're talking about here. So she says, turn back my daughters and go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should have hope, even if I should have a husband this night and should bear sons, would you therefore wait till they're grown? So she's asking, are you going to wait until they're grown? Would you therefore refrain from marriage? No, my daughters, for it is exceedingly bitter to me for your sake that the hand of the Lord has gone against me. So it's this idea that she believes that God is pushing against her. Um, what's interesting is that the Lord, so she uses two words for Lord here. Um, just kind of keep that in mind. I'm gonna explain that a bit. Um, then they lifted up their voices and wept again. So once again, it's a sorrow scene. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clung to her. So the idea here is that they're in a hugging situation and they're mourning, and that Ruth is not going to let go. And she said, see, your sister-in-law has gone back to be with her people and to her gods. We'll return after your sister-in-law. But Ruth said, do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and I will be buried. May the Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts from me. And when Naomi saw that she was determined to go with her, she said no more. Naomi is hopeless and she has nothing. Not only does she have nothing, but she has the added burden of two daughters-in-law that her now deceased sons have left her. She hears word that God has blessed Bethlehem. There is food in Bethlehem, verse 6. So she sets out to a journey of over 80 miles. So there's 80 miles from Moab to Bethlehem. So wherever you live, imagine a journey of 80 miles while walking. Um, or if you were driving in a car, it would be like 300 miles. So imagine a journey of that long. At some point during the journey, she demands them to leave. It's a very emotional scene. Twice, Naomi tells them to leave because she has no one of me meeting their needs by a husband. It's very important. Husbands were the means by which women were provided for. Culturally, men worked the fields, the women worked the home. Orpah eventually leaves, but Ruth stays with her, clings to her. Now Ruth rejects her former way of life and chooses to be an Israelite by identifying with the God of Israel, Yahweh, as well as the place of Israel. So she identifies, I'm going to be, essentially, I'm going to leave everything I know and follow you and become what you are. That is our passage of what we're talking about. Ruth. So we're now in this scene where Ruth says, I'm not going to leave you regardless. And she gives this faith statement. When we come back, and we will move on to the next portion of the book of Ruth. Have a great day.